When the voters who have election duty certificate come for voting, the presiding officer will check the election duty certificate and also see his or her ID. If matched, he or she will be allowed to vote. In the column 2 of registers of voters, serial, ward number, write what is written on EDC, signature on column 4. EDC will be written on the remark column. In the ending part of marked copy, serial, ward number, name of voter is to be written. Tendered votes, if when a voter came to vote and it is found out that someone else have already casted his or her vote, and if there is possibility that the identity of the latter person is right, then he or she will be allowed to cast the vote on a ballot paper. He or she will not cast vote on the EVM. This is what we call tendered vote. The ballot used here is called the tendered ballot. On the back side of this tendered ballot, the tendered ballot paper stamp will be pressed. If not, by the handwriting of the presiding officer on the back side of the ballot, it should be written as tendered ballot paper. Tendered ballots accounts, receipt, use, return needs to be maintained. Those voters who voted using the tendered ballot should be recorded in Form 17B. Signature or thumb impression must be taken in column 5. And ballot paper will be issued. While issuing tendered ballot paper, a rubber stamp with cross mark will be given. The voter will enter the voting compartment and use the rubber stamp to cast a vote near the candidate symbol. After the voter finished voting, the voter should fold the ballot paper and give it to the presiding officer. If any elector is blind or if he or she cannot cast the vote by pressing the ballot button, the voter can allow someone who has attained an age of 18 or above make his or her companion and let the person cast the vote in his or her place. This is under conduct of Rules 49N. And if the voter is lame, unable to walk only but could cast votes, then the companion should only help the voter to reach the voting compartment only and cast the vote by himself or herself. No one can become companion for multiple voters and one companion at a time. The companion too will be marked with indelible ink on right index finger, for the voter on the left index finger. One declaration from the companion will be taken. Records of blind infirm voters record will be maintained on Form 14A. Here, if the companion only helps the voter in reaching the voting compartment only, then no need to be recorded on Form 14A. Polling staffs cannot be a companion. Polling agents can claim an elector that he or she is not the said person. Challenge can be imitated by depositing a sum of 2 rupees to the presiding officer. The presiding officer should thoroughly observe and only accept proper challenges only. The presiding officer should initiate a summary inquiry. If the challenge is found to be true, then the voter won't be allowed to cast a vote. Will be handed over to the police with a written report. The challenged person will be notified that he will get punishment for impersonation. Details of electors from the electoral roll will be read aloud, and he or she will be asked if he or she is the said person. Then, in the Form 14 under the challenged voters list, his or her name and address will be recorded. His or her signature or thumb impression will also be recorded. If he or she declined to sign the paper, he or she will not be allowed to cast a vote. How to do summary inquiry? At first, the agent who is claiming the voter to be an impostor will be asked to give evidence or proof to support his or her claim. If the claiming person cannot give the proof or evidence, the challenge should not be entertained, and the person who got claimed should now be allowed to vote. On the other hand, if the solid proof or evidence is provided by the claiming agent, the voter will be given a chance to prove otherwise along with proper proof or evidences. If the voter can prove himself or herself that he is the right person, he will be allowed to cast a vote. If he or she cannot prove himself or herself, then he or she will be declared as not the real voter and the challenger's claim is deemed correct. While inquiring, officers in the village, electors' neighbors, or people in the polling stations can be asked for information. While collecting evidences, presiding officers should make them take oath beforehand. If the challenge is found to be true, then the imposter, will be handed over to the police with a written report.